Well, Cardinals fans, football is finally back. Or at least the preseason's here. Now that the Cardinals have played their first preseason game, I'm going to look back at some of the things I liked, some of the things I didn't like, and a few other things that stood out to me. The first thing that stood out to me is that Matt Prater was as advertised as an upgrade to our kicking game. He made every kick, including the game winner. And if we can get that kind of consistency out of the kicking game this year, that could be the difference in winning a couple games. It certainly would have been last season. The next thing I want to talk about is Eno Benjamin. The 7th round pick out of Arizona State University is fighting for a roster spot. And in order to make the roster, he's going to have to contribute on special teams. And I think he did some things in this game that are going to help his chances to make the roster. He had a couple decent kickoff returns. They weren't spectacular, but he looked competent in the role. But he also looked really good running the ball. He scored the Cardinals' only touchdown by bouncing outside for a nice little 6-yard run. And then he had an impressive 38-yard run in the third quarter. Jonathan Ward, Ito Smith, and Tavian Feaster also had their moments, and this competition is far from over, but Eno Benjamin did himself some favors with his performance. The next thing that stood out to me is that overall, the rookies had a really good showing. Zaven Collins kicked things off with a really impressive tackle for loss early in the first quarter. And while this was the only really big play that Collins made, as you'll see later on in this video, he graded out fairly well during this game. 2nd round pick Rondale Moore also looked really good. He didn't have any huge plays, but every time he touched the ball it was productive. But in addition to productive plays, what I think we also saw out of Rondale Moore is the kinds of ways they're going to use him. Jet sweeps, catching the ball, handoffs, and hopefully as he gets more touches, we're going to see that game-breaking ability come out. But the rookie who probably had the most impressive performance was 4th round cornerback Marco Wilson. Marco Wilson broke up play after play and overall did an excellent job in coverage. But in addition to his coverage ability, he also showed himself to be a willing tackler. And in this Vance Joseph defense, they're looking for cornerbacks who can tackle. Wilson's got an uphill battle to earn a starting role on this team, with veterans like Malcolm Butler, Robert Alford, and Darqueze Dennard all competing with him. But if he keeps playing the way he's playing, I wouldn't be shocked if he's one of the starters by the end of the season. These performances were reflected in the PFF grades for the rookies during this game. And as you can see, most of the rookies performed fairly well. Zaven Collins had a respectable grade of 71.3. Rondale Moore had the highest grade of any of the rookies with 84.0 on 23 snaps. But Marco Wilson wasn't far behind with his grade of 83.7 on 35 snaps. Victor Dimukeje had a solid outing with 61.2 as his PFF grade on 55 snaps. But 6th round cornerback Tay Gowan, with a PFF grade of 50.4, didn't perform nearly as well as his fellow rookie cornerback Marco Wilson. James Wiggins had a solid grade of 65.6, but it's also noteworthy that he played really well on special teams. In fact, he made a couple really nice tackles as a gunner, getting past his blockers and getting to the ball carrier. And this is an important thing for Wiggins. With all the depth at the safety position, he's going to need to be a special teams ace to make this team. And that is the reputation he had coming out of college. So for him to perform well on special teams and have a decent grade overall in the game really helps his chances to make this roster. Now unfortunately, rookie center Michael Manet had a really rough outing. His PFF grade of 23.9 was by far the lowest amongst the rookies. And he's going to have a hard time making this roster if he doesn't perform much better. In fact, after watching some film of him this game, I have to wonder if he's most likely to end up on the practice squad rather than the 53-man roster. The last thing I want to talk about is what I saw out of the backup quarterbacks. Chris Streveler showed off his ability as a runner, and certainly that's one of the reasons the Cardinals like him so much. He had multiple runs for good gains and showed good toughness in those runs, but he was really inconsistent throwing the ball. He had a couple of good passes, including a really nice one to receiver Greg Dortch, but he also had a lot of really bad throws and really struggled to show touch on his deeper throws. And when you contrast that with the solid performance we saw out of Colt McCoy, including this impressive throw to Christian Kirk, it seems obvious to me that Colt McCoy is going to be the backup quarterback. So what stood out to you from the first Cardinals preseason game? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're at it, please be sure to click like and subscribe to my channel for more Arizona Cardinals content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Cardinal Rule.